Well, hello viewers, welcome to the Quick Step temporary pit garage where they're preparing the bikes before tomorrow's race, Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. I've come out here to have a look at the bikes and the equipment and just have a nose around really and see what they're going to be racing tomorrow. So here we have the bike belonging to the defending champion of Omloop Het Nieuwsblad, Deceuninck Ski-Bars Specialized S-Works Tarmac. This is the company's all-round lightweight race bike. I'm liking the new colours this year for Quick Step. So the first thing to point out are the tyres. And they are not running tubeless. They are running S-Works Turbo Hell of the North tubular tyres. Quick Step and Specialized have been using tubeless tyres since the last year. They even won a stage of the Tour of California and used them in the Tour de France. So we might have expected them to use tubeless tyres in the Cobble Classics. But no, they're using tried and tested tubular tyres. The team are running disc brakes for last season and continues to use disc brakes again this year, using the Shimano dura-ace Di2. No changes really, full Di2 group set. The two things to point out is the Shimano dura-ace power meter, not a specialised power meter. We've got a bigger inside chainring, probably a 44, but I'll flip around and have a look. That's because there are a few steep climbs, but it's mostly flat rolling roads, so they put a bigger chainring on just to minimise the gap between a big and a small ring. So I mentioned it's got a bigger inside chainring, and I just had a look and it's a 42 tooth inner chainring compared to the standard 39 and 53 outer side chainring. We've got a chain guide from K-Edge just to stop the chain dropping off. Little safety measure really. There's pedals, also from dura-ace, SPD SLs. That looks like an 1128 cassette on the back, fairly standard these days. And if you wonder what size disc rotors you've got, that's a 140 on the back compared to a 160 on the front. We've got a pair of Tax water bottle cages. Can't see any modifications, sometimes you get grip tape, but there's none on there that I can see. Move on to his cockpit. And it's a Pro handlebar and stem. The handlebar is carbon fibre with that sort of bend shape. The ergonomic, it's not compact, is it? Quite a deep drop. And quite a short 110 stem as well. One spacer between the headset and the stem. And a very neat little bracket for the Shimano junction box, if I can zoom in on that. Very neat. Moving up, you see you've got a K-Edge mount for his computer there as well. Di2 hoods, one modification. Ignore the trainers. Sprint shift buttons on the inside of the drop so you can change gear when he's in the drops. So don't have to be in the hoods, can be down there, and that's on both sides as well. So you can see it there. And this bike you can see is still muddy from their last recon ride. Okay, let's look at a few more bikes from Deceuninck Quick Step. And they're not all Tarmacs, most of the team are on Tarmacs, but I did spot a Venge here. Here's it belongs to. Casper Asgreen is riding the very speedy Venge, and he's got a Pro Vibe aero handlebar rather than a specialised handlebar that's been designed for the bike. Using the same stem though, and that is very slammed. But most of the team, as I said, are on Tarmacs. Here's another Tarmac. See the team put their Wolfpack logo on the top tube. Do you know Specialized bought Retool a few years ago? Well, he did, and there's top cap. Bob Youngles, who is a pretty handy rider in these sort of races, is also riding a Specialized S-Works Tarmac. And this has just arrived while I was filming. It's another Venge. This one belonging to Tim de Klerk, who's a good rider as well. So he's going for aero over all other considerations. Have a closer look at his bike. A bit difficult around here for space. He's got a power saddle on his bike. And see how they attach the race number? That's a bracket just glued to the back of the carbon seat post. That is what you call a long stem. A few spaces though, not totally slammed, the one on the top. And again, that's a Pro handlebar. So the team is sponsored by Pro. So it means they're not using a specialised handlebar that was developed for this bike. Another detail just spotted on Ilo Kaiser's bike is he's gone for a sprint shifter buttons on the front of the handlebar. So when he's riding on the tops, he can change gear without moving his hand to the hoods. Quite an unusual setup this as well. Got these Pro 5 aero handlebars and got them taped right up to, well, up to that section there, and then you've got the buttons there, so when you're riding along on the cobbles, which is the position you would ride on the cobbles along the top, so you can float out of the cobbles, you can change gear. So nice little detail there, and it just shows the attention to detail on these bikes and what some riders prefer. So some riders need or want a custom setup like this, and some are quite happy just to have a regular setup with no special modifications. All down to personal preference and whatever the rider feels they need to give them an edge, an advantage in the race. The team is sponsored by Pro, so it's Pro handlebars, stems and seat posts where possible, but because of the design of these modern bikes, they use proprietary parts. But the new Venge is pretty clever in that you use a normal handlebar, and this is a Pro Vibe aero handlebar, but using a specialised stem. Some of the team, however, are preferring the specialised aero handlebar design for this Venge, and here's one right here. Not sure why that is, but there you go. But a very long Pro stem there. So the mechanic's just taken the rear wheel out, the disc brake, through axle of course, and they put this little doobree in. It's got a plastic carrier guide for the chain, so basically they can work on the bike and not have the chain slapping around all over the place. Makes bike cleaning a lot easier. That's a very neat thing I've not seen before. That's how you clean a disc brake bike. Washing a bike is serious business and something the mechanics spend a lot of time doing, and they've got their process down to a T. Brushes and sponges and big buckets of water, lots of special washers and degreasers, everything they need to get the bike spick and span in no time at all. And quite a process of watch. So this works down from Feedback Sports with the wheels out, allows the mechanic to move the bike around to get to every side of the bike easily. Wheels out so you can get to every aspect of the bike. The wheels are now shiny, and look how clean that cassette is. Things are cleaning. Bit of Morgan Blue, Bike Wash Pro, more Morgan Blue, popular product, sponge and that, whatever that thing is there. And these for putting the chain on, big bucket of water. So that is how you wash a chain in no time at all. What looks like a paintbrush, get into the rear derailleur. Notice the old bottle with a top cut off in the boss cage full of chain cleaner. That's a really neat idea, that is. I'll be doing that one at home. This guy can work quick. Cool.